Hey, what's up, traders? Today is another technical analysis that we're gonna do this Friday, and it's the end of this week, and we have seen a lot of volatility in the markets, most especially that it is highly being influenced of what Trump announced, and basically that is the reciprocal tariffs, and the markets went pretty bloody yesterday, and not just actually yesterday, but since Monday and Tuesday, the market is already poised to go down in pre maybe preparation for the incoming tariffs from Trump. So if you're gonna look at the markets like the US dollar, we're gonna see dollar. It went down. Nasdaq, all actually the US markets have been going down since Friday last week. So they are poised to go down prior to Trump's announcement of the tariffs. And this is something that we're not actually predicting to happen. But based on the technical aspect, the markets are not getting enough steam for an upside recovery. So if we're gonna look at the tariffs based on countries, so this is a lot. If you're gonna check it out on our ACY website, this images came from X at White House account, so you can actually look at that. But we have country-specific tariffs also uploaded in this website, courtesy of sources from the White House. So with the tariffs ongoing, what we're seeing in the markets, there is a renewed fear. So if you're gonna look at VIX, we're already the VIX is already trading more than 26 levels, taking out this high. So what does this mean if the tariffs, if the VIX is climbing more than 20, 25, and even 26 levels? This would only mean that there is fear in the markets. So that would not look good in the case of investing in the markets if you are on a bullish side, or you are in a long side. So with the fears in the market, particularly in the US markets, it's not really attractive to hold long positions with regards to investing in the US market. So if you're gonna look also at the US bonds, since the markets are in a fearful state right now, the only asset I think that is safe to invest in the US is the government bonds. So if you're gonna look at the government bonds, it's on the rise and currently trading at higher than the previous range. So we already broke out of this high and broke out of this channel. So there's not actually I'm not I do not trade the channels, but I just look at it as a baseline where price are creating new highs based on this current move. So if the bonds are on the rise and the VIX is on the rise, of course, the natural response of the dollar would be weak because there is fear in the markets. So I'm not saying that we magically predicted this to happen. It's just that first, the fundamentals are telling us that it's risky to invest in the US market because of what's happening in the US government of tariff efforts. And technical wise, if we're gonna look at the charts, is telling us that we're not seeing any traction for the upside. So what happened to the US market? Of course, investors flock to other markets, and most specifically, the Japanese yen is benefiting from this global crisis with what's happening with the tariffs. And the Japanese yen is also being considered as a safe haven currency compared to the dollar. So prior to this, we've been actually calling this already a hit on the 747.1 level. Either there are just two scenarios on this level. If we close below, actually three. If we close below and we get a follow through, we might see further downside with the Japanese yen. Another scenario is if we close down successfully by closing below the low, like what happened to this one, but it does not get a follow through, meaning the next candle would be a bullish candle. This would signal a potential, probably this is just a taking out of the low, and it would proceed to a reversal. The next scenario is it will trade to this level but not through it. So what do I mean by that? If the price went down on this level but did not close below, that would be a sign that the Japanese yen is still probably is still increasing in its strength. So, but prior to that, if you're gonna look at our analysis in this blog, the USD dollar weekly outlook. So is King Dollar losing its crown? So the main premise for this title is, of course, the fundamentals are showing us that it's kind of risky to invest in the US. And the next is, of course, a technical aspect. It's not showing us enough steam for the dollar to go to the upside. So primarily, or the phrase that we could describe the dollar is it's under pressure. And with the volatility index, as mentioned, we are currently in a risk of sentiment in the market. So if we're gonna look at the U.S. government bonds, so we've been outlining this since Monday, the March 31, and currently it's materializing based on what's going on in the markets. So this was the Monday candle. So actually, if we're gonna look at our website, we have a lot of insights there. Basically with the market analysis, the market education. So this is what's been happening in the dollar, and the key drivers for this week are the PMIs, and of course later on during the day the NFP. So let's just take a look at some. Oh, yeah, this is the forecast for this week for the dollar. So if you're gonna look at the dollar, we've been outlining this fair value gap that it might hit during the week, and we might see a downside reaction. So what happened with the dollar? So if we're gonna look at it, so basically on the 4-hour chart, just the same with our forecast last Monday. So we're gonna look at it and compare it. It's the same. So, well, the dollar during this time tried to create a sequence of probably if this resistance breaks, we might see a further upside with the dollar signaling a potential recovery. But as you can see, it traded just going on a sideways motion on this level, filling out this gap. And right after the announcement of Trump, dollar just went on a downside move with a strong momentum. So what are we going to expect with the dollar in the coming days? Since Actually, we're still waiting for the NFP to come out this day. So if we're gonna look at the forecast for NFP, so let's look at our economic calendar. So if we're gonna look, but before that, let's just look at the news for the dollar this week. So as you can see, the job reports, job openings are lower than the previous and the forecast, which is not looking good for the U.S. market since if there is really a bump or a push on the U.S. market because of the tariffs, we'd like more openings in the market, but it's not giving us a good print. But of course, this is for Feb, and we're losing numbers. And the PMIs are also telling us during March, it's not looking good since we're below the forecast and the previews. And basically, what we're seeing in the markets, in the US market, is not looking good overall. So if the prints of these data are not showing us a green or a good, the previews or even the forecast, of course, the natural response of the currency related to it would go down. That's what happened with the dollar. It did not just touch the 103 and 373 level, but it went through it, breaking down through that level. So we don't know what will happen later on today, but we're seeing a lower than the forecast, lower forecast than the previous of the NFP, which is another thing that we could say that would add weakness with the dollar. So if the dollar is will continue to go down, let's map out some scenarios. For me, if I'm gonna go short with the dollar, I don't want this the previous candle to get traded through at this 50% level. So we could look at the lower time frames. So potential reaction points for the dollar is first is this one. So we have a bearish fair value gap here. It is currently being tested. So you can mark out this level, the bearish fair value gap, and we also have one at this level. So we don't know what will happen during the day, most especially for the NFP. But what we could anticipate, if price won't break down on this level, we might see a potential reverse rebound on this level, or maybe on this level also. So I'm still leaning on to shorts with the dollar, given that there first is the VIX is so high, the bonds are rising, and the tariffs are still fresh. So if we're going for a bullish, bearish stance, we'd like this low to get broken down. So this low is 107,267. Yep, this one. So 101.267 is our next target for the dollar. And if we break down of that level, probably we might reach this lows. So we don't know yet, but this is my trajectory for the dollar. And we're seeing more downside with the dollar. So if the dollar is on a downside move, we'd like to see a bullish reaction on the major pairs. So basically, the major pairs are the Australian dollar, the US dollar, I mean the New Zealand dollar, the euro, the pound, the CAD, and the Swiss. So those are our majors, and also the USD JPY, the Japanese yen. So, all right. Let us look at other markets. So let's start off with the Australian dollar. So basically, the Australian dollar, it tried to break down of this level, but it did not get any follow through. And currently, what we're seeing with the Australian dollar is we're seeing a positive move. So right now, the Australian dollar is trading at this level. So let me just remove this. But prior to this, we already outlined that the Australian dollar is potentially creating a bullish traction on the upside since we already broken out of um, this two ranges, which signals a trend shift for an upside. So currently, the Australian dollar is trading at this level, and we're looking at a more bullish side for the Aussie, since, as mentioned earlier, because of what's happening in the U.S. market, what's happening with the tariffs, the fears in the market, we'd like to see a pullback on this level, and probably, hopefully, we'd like to see a reaction or an upside. The next target for the Australian dollar, if not bearish, is this high. This one. Yep. Yeah, that's that one. So let's make it precise. So the next target for the Aussie is the 63890 level. But of course, before we get to that level, we'd like to see a probably a small range on this level and a breakout. So if price breaks out of that level, we'd like to see a breakout opportunity and just put your stops behind the structure. So of course, the bearish side is we'd like to see a strong pullback with a dollar for us to trade to on this level. But overall, I'm still leaning to a bullish side. We will only adjust if the technicals are telling us that it is not yet willing to go to the upside. So currently, that's with the Aussie dollar. And I believe I already discussed um, this analysis. Let me just check if it's already in this page. But if not, I just discuss it anyway. So this one. Yep. So this was our outlook with the Aussie dollar. But moreover, we're still leaning on a bullish side with the Australian dollar. And the next is the New Zealand dollar, of course. So what's happening with the Australian dollar? We're seeing a strong move. Prior to that, we already broke down out of this level. Yes, we created a bearish follow through by looking at these candles, but those two candles that supposedly is a bearish tone for the New Zealand dollar was eventually invalidated by trading above it. So as you can see, the New Zealand dollar broke out of this two momentum candles, which is not looking good. And yes, the technicals are telling us that the New Zealand dollar is on a bearish move by breaking out of this level, but we cannot disregard the fact that the dollar is also on a weaker side. So if the New Zealand dollar is exhibiting a bearish stance and the US dollar is also exhibiting a bearish stance, what I suggest is probably the better trade with that is the Australian dollar. And another alternative that you can do is wait for a confirmation if the New Zealand dollar will in fact create a bullish sequence. So what do I mean again by the bullish sequence? The bullish sequence is a basically it's the price is creating highs, higher lows, and higher lows. So basically, that's the sequence that I'm referring to, but it also applies to the bearish sequence. So basically, what's happening with the New Zealand dollar is we're seeing traction right now with the NZD, and we'd like to see a reaction on this level. So let me just remove this drawing since it's already materializing. So we'd like to see a reaction on this level. Maybe we could look for an hourly breakout or bullish breakout on the hourly chart. So if we see ranges on this level and it is being supported by the MAs, the fair value gap, and the fact that the US dollar is on a weaker side, we'd like to see the New Zealand to go to the upside. So if we're going to double check the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar, what we're seeing right now is still the New Zealand dollar is gaining traction over the AUD. So if we're going to look for better trades or better choice, if you're going to trade between either the Australian dollar or the New Zealand dollar, given that we have a weaker US dollar, the better trade with this one is maybe you need to just go double down on the New Zealand dollar. And of course, we're going to compare the two. So this is the Aussie. This is the Kiwi. So if you're going to look at the two pairs, it's much obvious or maybe it's much cleaner to trade the Kiwi versus the Australian dollar. So that's what we're gonna look at with the two, the Aussie and the Kiwi. And the next is let's look at the European side. So if we're gonna look at the European side, the euro and the pound. So what happened with the euro and the pound? Of course, since we have a weaker dollar and we have a potential stagflation in the US. We don't know in the coming months, or maybe we might experience, I don't want to say the R word or the recession. Yeah, I just said it. And we don't know what will happen, but what we're seeing in the the European side is also gaining traction over the US. And let's just take a look at our forecast with the euro. So this is our forecast with the euro. Since we already broke out of the two ranges, we might see a potential upside with the euro, which is currently materializing. So my drawings, of course, are not perfect since the price is king. So my analysis is just a preparation for what is to come. So if we're gonna look at the euro, based on our forecast, it's already materializing. So the reason for a bullish euro, of course, the fundamentals are telling us that there is a weaker dollar. But on a technical side, if you're gonna look at the charts, let me just maximize this. Two ranges being being invalidated by breaking through it is a signal that the price is willing to go or to change direction from a bearish stance to a bullish stance. So what we're seeing right now, after euro broke out of this level by closing above, yes, we did not get immediate follow through on a bullish side. As you can see, price still traded or pulled back on this level, but the fact is we cannot disregard that it still has not broken down on this level. So if um, prior to this move we already broke out of this two ranges, the trigger for a bearish side is for this to get invalidated by closing below, which it did not do in this case. So, but with regards to the pound, so based on our forecast with pound, for me, pound is still going strong at this level, primarily because it's not showing any signs of reversal. It's not creating um, new lows on a macro scale, meaning by breaking out of this level, of this whole range. So it's just on a steady hold on that sideways. And if you're going to observe the price, the pound, it's not breaking down of this level. So after, let me just check. After Tuesday, prior to Trump's announcement, pound is already gearing up for an upside. After breaking out of this small range on this level, so we're seeing that the pound is willing to go to the upside. But the question with that, the question lies here is, what's the difference of these ranges? These ranges, these ranges prior to this one. So what makes this range unique versus these ranges? Specifically, this range matters because it's just like a few hours away or maybe one day away from Trump's announcement. So during this time, the pound did not gain enough traction since the start of March. And one of the reasons also that the European side lost traction because the delay of the support in Ukraine, and they failed to deliver immediately on what's have been promised of aid to the Ukrainian side. And of course, it's easy to announce, but it's not also easy to implement with what's happening in the western side. So this range is very significant because it's just at the doorstep of Trump's announcement. So the key here is, if you're looking at ranges, take a look also at the fundamentals of what is to come during in the coming days for that certain currency. So let's just backtrack on March. What happened with the pound? So if we're gonna look at pound, we only had one positive print, which is the retail sales. And overall, we're not seeing a strong catalyst to move the pound to either side. Actually, if you're gonna look at it, it's more on a bearish stance. But looking at the charts, it's trying to hold its ground on this level, which is also a positive on a technical standpoint. So what we're gonna expect with those two is we might see a pullback on these levels. This one for the euro. And for the pound, we might see probably on this level. So my point of entries, just for everyone's information, is I look for gaps and I look for opportunities on those levels. So I'm not with the pound, I'm not looking at this gap anymore. This one. For the reason that I think it might trade through it and reach this level. So I don't know, but looking at the price, it's not yet breaking out of this level. So that's it for euro and pound. Let's go on the I forgot the yen. So let's just analyze yen. So with yen, going back to our analysis just to check what happened with yen. So for everyone who's new in watching this video, I post day-to-day analysis. You can look at this in our ACY website. Just type in acy.com and go through our learn and market analysis. And you will see our articles there that would be helpful in your trading decisions. So right now, since the dollar is experiencing a drawback, what I'm seeing with yen, the coming prior to this discussion, I'm looking at a bearish side because dollar failed to have a bullish follow through, and yeah, the fundamentals are telling us that the dollar is weak. So that's what's happening with the dollar. We already broke down of this level, out of this range. Prior to that, the USD tried to recover at this high by breaking out, but it failed. So this level, this is what we can call a fake out. Oh, sorry, this one. This is what we can call a fake out because it tried to break through, but it did not push through. And after that, it invalidated this potential bullish candle. Potential candle that would push the USD JPY to the upside, but it was quickly invalidated by engulfing it more than 90% of the previous candle. So right now with the USD, with the golfer or the USD yen, we can look for opportunities on this level. The extreme side, of course, is this one. We might see a bearish reaction on those levels. Yep. So that's it with USDN. And let's look at the USD CAD. So currently, the USD CAD is materializing on a bearish side. So let's just take a look again with our forecast with USD CAD. So actually prior to that, the CAD is experiencing a weakness because of the BOC easing its policies. But despite of its easing, we're seeing that the USD CAD from the most recent days is still trying to hold off this bearish fair value gap. So potentially we had a uh, potential push for the upside in favor of the USD, but like the USDN, it failed to break out. It just traded to, but not through it, and it was quickly invalidated by the next candle, and it reacted on this level. So let me just change the color. This is the 4-hour bearish fair value gap. So it filled out this level, and now it broke down with the new lows. So it's clear now that the CAD is winning the tug of war between the US. And with the Swissy, actually before that, let me just take a quick look. So yeah, that's what's happening with the USD CAD. And lastly, the Swissy. And I haven't seen the chart of the Swissy yet. So after this, I'm gonna look at this one. But what I'm seeing with the USD Swiss, of course, is still on a weaker side. We are seeing a weaker USD versus the Swiss. And since we're discussing about the tariffs, the fears in the markets, the Swissy is also being considered as a safe haven currency. So if we're gonna look at the chart, probably we might see a downside move with the Swiss. Yep. So this is prior to this, I haven't analyzed this yet. But if we're gonna see the fundamentals and what's happening with the dollar, this is something that I'm not surprised to see. So yeah, the Swissy is on a downside continuation again, and we might see the Swissy trade to on this level. Let's look for whole numbers. But let me just look at this real quick. What are the targets? So currently, the Swissy already broke down of the 887, and right now it's trading at 86 levels. So for me, I'm looking at the 0.85 levels for a target with the Swissy. So let's just take a look at gold. What's happening with gold? So right now, the gold is on a volatile state. It tried to break out of this level, but we're not seeing a follow through, a bullish follow through with gold. And currently, it already broke down of this level. For us to see a bearish side with gold, which I'm not actually leaning to, we need this low to get broken down. But since what's happening with the market, with the fears, we'd like to see a bullish upside for gold. If we break out of this level, this one. So then let me just change the color again. So if we manage to break out of this level, we might experience new highs with gold. So probably the gold went down to take more orders, to pick up more steam for the upside. So currently gold is still on a sideways move, reacting at this level, the fair value gap, and would like to see a breakout of this level. And the next is this one. And the US markets, the same. We're seeing downside moves since there are fears in the market. We reacted from this previous bullish fair value gap that was invalidated. You can actually trade this as an inverse. You can use this as an inverted fair value gap that you can trade down. So with the Dow, since it's Friday, we might see a slowdown of the market today. The same with Nasdaq and US 500. So if you're gonna look at this patterns, so let me just take another chart. So I'm just gonna show you a pattern with what's happening in the markets that you could actually take a look at or observe. Yep. So if we're gonna look at the US 500, the Nasdaq, and the Dow, they all have the same patterns. It created a sideways range. With the Nasdaq, it's not really clear, but this is looking a sideways. The same with S&P 500 or SPX. It created a sideways. After that, it tried to break out. So this candle actually is a tempting candle for the traders to participate, but it was quickly invalidated. It seems like the price just took out the highs on this level and broke down. Same with Nasdaq and the SPX, and the market went through a downside momentum. So there's a phenomenon in the markets, or there is a cycle in the markets that we could look at. This is what we call the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. So basically, there are forces in the market that we do not see. They have the ability to engineer the markets to create a sideways. Actually, they are not creating, but they're making a way for price to um, probably, I don't know the right term, but to pull the orders from either the bullish side or the bearish side. So just for the institutions to get in the market. So afterwards, um, they will engineer a manipulation, taking out the stops or the buy orders on this side. Then they will take out the stop loss and the sell orders on this side, and they will now proceed to the right direction. So how can you learn this playbook, this framework? You can actually look at our market education. Go to our site, acy.com. You can check out our education and look for my panel. Actually, it's not yet placed in this panel, but you can look at the market analysis, the SMC playbook series. So in this blog, I'm gonna teach you what's the purpose, why price is going on a certain direction, why do you get stopped out before the market moves on your based on your bias. So what is this phenomenon that is happening in the markets? So you can look at this blog, and I will explain to you why such things happen in the market. So this will be a series. So um, just uh, take a look at our website, acy.com. Probably I will post one one part a week, and you can just read through with our market education. So that's what you can use or um, refer on how you can trade in the markets with a banking or institutional perspective. So other than that, we also have market analysis that you could check out. So I do a daily analysis and also Luca and the other analysts. So you can check our contents on acy.com. So that's it for our analysis. This our recap for this day, and I hope you learn a lot. And my advice or my suggestion is to wait for ranges, wait for breakouts, and mark out your levels where price would react to. And I highly suggest before you place trades in the market, take a look at this playbook series first. So you would be aware or you would anticipate what the markets will do in the coming days, in the coming hours. So that's it for me. My name is Jasper and talk to you soon. Goodbye.